Well guys, I've got an exciting 3 days coming up where I'm going to be hitting with three 30 in the world level squash players, and I'm going to be showing you my thoughts and what I learned from each one. They've all got slightly different styles, and today I'll be hitting with George Parker here at the Leicester Squash Club. So yeah, let's get into it.
Well guys, I didn't start this training stint exactly as planned because I got the location wrong, and we were actually training at the Leicestershire Tennis and Squash Club. So luckily that was only 2 minutes away, and I was able to head over there to hit with George. So yeah, after doing a few drills to warm up and some volley drills, we went into a few games. Now, George was heading off to Budapest in a couple of days' time, and I had a tournament a few days after as well. So we didn't go too crazy, which was surprising because hitting with George, I thought it was going to be just flat out for a good hour and a half. But to be fair to him, he was tapering for his tournament. So yeah, this is a game that we played towards the end of the session. Now, I'm still pretty fresh at this point, to be fair, because we'd done mostly drills. So I was just trying to play with a decent intensity, try and keep up with his pace. I couldn't actually put the camera at the back of the court because, as you can see, we're training on a hard back there. And I tried putting my camera up on the balcony, but it kept falling off, so I thought I'd put it at the front here. It's actually quite an interesting angle to have a look at, some analysis-wise, because you're not focusing on the ball on the front wall. You can actually look at the movement a little bit, and George is one of the quickest movers on the tour. He's definitely the quickest mover I've ever played against. Now, I knew he was a really good athlete, but you don't notice it fully until you're on there with someone that's that quick. Like you can see there, he's so quick at those little steps from the tee to the ball. Some people take huge, like almost big jumpy lunges, but he's really quick on his feet, like taking lots of short steps. Like quick footwork, it actually helps you get there quicker when you can take, say, 3 really small explosive steps rather than 2 big lunges. And yeah, so George is really good at that, and then he gets in a really nice set position with his racket preparation, and he can then decide which shot he wants to play. But yeah, I did quite well in this game actually, until I started breaking down, getting tired towards the end. But at the moment, I'm moving the ball around quite well. George is primarily focusing on his length to the back, and I'm basically just trying to score as many points as I can. Let's look at the game specifically now then. So here my length's all right. I've tried to take the drop in off the back wall and just clip the tin. Now, this is something I'm working on, having variations from the back wall, so you can't just hit length all day long. You have to be able to show those different shots. Now, maybe I forced it a little bit there, but you have to do something else from the back at some point early on in the game. You don't want to force it if it's not there, but ideally you put it in so that they're thinking about it then for the rest of the game, and then they have to think about covering that, and it actually makes your length more effective when they're thinking about you could take it in off the back wall. So now I can actually hold off the back wall and punch it deep again, which can be effective. There, I've finished off with a fade cut across. I've showed the straight drop and then last minute snapped my wrist across it to change the angle to cross court it. This messes with your opponent's movements and can be quite effective. George has gone in straight away off the serve. I haven't hit a good enough serve. I haven't served it into the sidewall, and he's volleyed it straight drop tight. It always seems to catch me off guard if I've done a slightly loose serve and they chuck it in. So it's a combination of, number one, not doing a bad serve, but also getting to the tee and being super alert right from the start. Don't expect them to just hit a length and then get into the rally. Like, squash is becoming so attacking nowadays that people will go short straight away, like right off the serve. Right, let's see how this rally goes. So length is good here. I'm keeping George to the back. Length was slightly short there. He's able to volley, put me under some pressure. There you go. So the second my length goes and he's volleyed, I'm then under pressure. He's volleyed twice and the second one drop into the nick. That's how brutal it is at the top of the game with these guys. One loose ball and you've basically lost the rally. So this was good from me here, something I've worked on. George just hit a loose ball into the middle, and instead of waiting for the ball to come to me and then playing my drop, I actually stepped into it and took on the drop. Now this takes time away from your opponent, but it's a movement thing where you can step into the ball and then the opponent has to go behind you. If you wait for the ball to come to you and they're still in front of you, they can then run straight onto the drop. But if you step in front of them, they then have to cover behind you. It's tricky to explain. Hopefully you understand what I mean, but George then has to get to the ball behind me instead of in front of me, and that allows me to put more distance between him and the ball. So yeah, it's something tricky that I've worked on, but it's making your opponent take the longest route to the ball possible. Now this isn't by blocking or moving after my shot, but it's moving before my shot, having urgency to get onto the ball and go in front so that he then has to go behind. Hopefully that makes some sense. But yeah, let's see how this rally goes. Trading down the backhand, like most rallies in squash. Even if you're having some exchanges down the backhand, you still have to look busy. Like, you can see both of us trying to push up and volley. Loose ball from me, George goes in, winner. Brutal. That's what it is like at this level. But yeah, as I was saying, you have to look busy down the backhand. Try and see where you can get in front, take the volley on, put a kill in, hit an aggressive line. Don't just chip it down the wall. Like, if they've overhit their length, really wind up and hit a hard line to the back. Something my coach Miles Jenkins has been talking to me about is hitting a heavier length. So not necessarily smacking the ball, but hitting a heavier ball. So having purpose behind it, quick racket preparation, and using the strings to really snap and cut down through the ball to hit a heavy line to the back, where you want the ball fading into the back corners. So yeah, that was my game with George. We actually did a couple of games, but I've just showed you the one there. After this, we did a final volleying drill. It's quite nice, I thought, to go from drills to playing and then back to drills again. Usually, as pros, we just you sort of build up to normal squash and then leave it there, but it's quite nice to then, once you've played a game and you're a little bit tired, go back into the drills and actually try and hold your technique and still hit some nice shots under a bit of fatigue. So with this drill here, so George has hit a boast, I hit a drop to myself, then drive. George then drives and I drop. So I know that's very confusing, but let's have a look again. So I'm going to boast this, yeah, cross court. He drops, drives, straight. George then feeds me one volley, he feeds me another volley, or he feeds me another straight, sorry, and then he cross courts. So this is a pattern. I know I haven't really gone through that very well, but have a look. It's a pattern so that we know where the ball's going roughly each time, and you can work on your straight drops basically and use your touch into the front. The final thing we did after that was just a random feeding exercise. So I'll feed George anywhere in the court and he hits a drop or does whatever he wants, mostly a drop, and then he'll feed me a shot, and then I'll go for a drop as well. It's mostly drops, but you do want to snap through a couple of other shots as well, like a drive or a trickle boast, or like a boast there from George, just so that you're showing those options. At the top of the game, you can't just hit a drop. It's not that simple. You have to be able to show other shots. You have to make them think, oh, okay, is he going to drive this? Is he going to cross-court it? Oh no, he's dropped it. Like, if you... The players read you so well now. They read the game so well that if you're showing the drop and playing it, they're going to be on it. And players as quick as George will just pounce on that and smack it past you. But anyway, yeah, that was a brilliant session with George. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was amazing to see his speed, and it was a privilege to train with someone of his level. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
Well then guys, that was truly awesome. I think a lot of people have the complete wrong impression of George, like he's just this angry squash player, but I mean, he's such a nice, knowledgeable guy. Like, the advice he was giving me was next level. Just stuff about his career, what he would have done differently, his physical training and stuff. Like, he's an absolute beast. But what, if he had his time again, he might change more skills work, slightly less of the off-court training. Like, yeah, it was great. His speed into the front is an absolute joke. Like, he has this natural born like speed, and he's saying that the speed is more important than the strength of actually like holding the lunge. Like, obviously you have to be strong, but he was saying that in his opinion, strength should be like injury prevention work rather than lifting massive weights and stuff like that. Obviously it's going to help being stronger, but he was talking about the single leg work and stuff like that, balancing out your body, so that you don't have like one really strong leg and one weaker leg. But yeah, super interesting, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I'm definitely going to come up and hit with him more. It's only an hour from Birmingham where I'm based, so yeah, yeah, awesome. Anyway, I'm driving back down to Birmingham first to do some stringing, and then going home. My parents live in Cheltenham, because tomorrow I'm going to be hitting with my next 30 in the world level player in Cheltenham. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at the East Gloss Club. Cheers. Well, it's a very wet morning here at my parents' house in Cheltenham. Anyway, I'm going to be heading off to the East Gloss Club now for some match play with Nathan Lake. Catch you there.
So here we go then. This is the following day. Now, Nathan had asked me if we just wanted to do a flat out normal match, which I was more than happy to do. So here we go in the match. This is going to be, I'm just going to show you the first game, just so the video doesn't drag on. But yeah, I'm just having a little knock up here before the match starts. I always try and get some quick volleys in, quick footwork, make sure my movement is sharp and my eye is sharp as well, and my hands moving quickly. Nathan's doing the same here, as you can see. So yeah, for this first game I actually compete very well. It drops off slightly in the other games, but that's just due to Nathan's quality and him making me work a lot. But anyway, let's get into this game. So at the start, I'm fresh and I can play at a good pace. This is what I need to do. I need to keep playing with these guys, because eventually I'll be able to withstand that pace for longer. But yeah, good start there. I've capitalised on Nathan's short length and I've put the ball in quickly with a boast. Some players like to start the match more conservatively with some lengths, and if I'm honest, that is actually usually me. But I'm making a conscious effort to actually, if the ball's loose, you have to take it in. You can't hang about. So there's 2 quick points for me. A loose ball from Nathan, and I've tidied up with a backhand straight drop, which is lucky that I've been given those loose balls from him early on in the match. But yeah, at the moment I'm stepping up the court. I'm taking it to him. 1 loose ball and he's put me in. I've had to lift, and then that's rally over. So there you go again. There's a similarity between what it takes at the top here. The second you hit a loose ball, they're taking you in with quality, and you're either lifting, or they've hit a winner, or they're putting you under a lot of pressure and working you. So anyway, yeah, I've switched the angle up on this one because it was a glass back. I was able to put the camera at the back of the court, but I thought I'd just put it at this angle here just to be a bit different. You can get a nice view of the backhand sides, and we can take a look at how tight we're hitting the ball. Nathan's a left-hander, which makes things slightly different actually. Most of squashers play down the backhand, but against the left-hander you actually end up switching it onto his backhand a bit more, as you can see I'm doing here. You want to think about doing that, but you don't want to overdo it. Like here, I've actually forced it onto his backhand a little bit too much. I'm cross-courting everything, so it is good to target their backhand, but only when you've got the opportunity to. If you have to straighten up onto their forehand, then that's just something you've got to do. If you end up forcing it onto the backhand and it's loose, they're still going to put you under pressure anyway, aren't they? So yeah, but let's take a look at the game a little bit specifically. So let's see. Nathan has good urgency to get onto the ball at the front actually, but I'm trying to twist him and turn him because he's quite a big guy, so I can expose his movement by using some hold and snapping the ball cross court. I know from being a big guy as well, it's tough to change direction. It's not as easy for us bigger guys as it is for the small nippier players, so that's something I've got in the back of my mind. I want to be able to show one corner and hit the other, so as a lefty, I'd want to get him making some deep movements in the back right, so I want to be able to show the front left corner with a drop shot and then rip it across him from the same backswing. So let's see if I do that at all. But yeah, some tight balls on the backhand here. I've tried to go cross court but haven't quite got the width again there, so you can see the intention from me to target his backhand, but the quality isn't quite there, and I've ended up trying to hit the winner too early in the rally and clipping it in. Yeah, my length's dropped off a little bit here, and as you can see, he's volleying everything. As soon as your length drops off, these top guys are going to be all over it, and I'm scrambling now. I'm trying to get out of trouble. Your length is everything. Now, obviously, you have to have the winning shots as well, but it comes off the back of good length. I'm hitting some slightly better lines now, but Nathan's hitting some unbelievable lines. But that's what you have to do to compete at this level. It's all about tight line and length, and then when you get the opportunity, putting the ball away. Nathan actually used to live in Cheltenham, so this was his home club, but he's moved to America now, which is a shame for me because I would have loved to train with him a bit more here. But anyway, yeah, when he's back, I always get on court with him, and he's such a nice guy to train with because he's always nice and helps me out and tries to give me some tips, and yeah, if I need to message him about anything, he's always happy to help. So that's something I really like about the squash scene. Like, as it's not the biggest sport in the world, all the top guys, most of them at least, the ones I've met, are all really nice and happy to help out. So yeah, but anyway, back to the game. Let's see how this rally goes. Yeah, so when I put that boast in just now, you could see Nathan rocked back slightly before he went in. That's what you want. You want them to think you're going to be hitting another length, and then you put it in. I've got onto that ball in the front quickly, because that's how I think I can expose him, by getting onto balls quick, and trying to push the pace, test out his movement. Yeah, loose volley from Nathan, and I get the stroke. That kind of I forced that kind of with a nice tight ball that Nathan hasn't been able to hit tight again, and he's just dragged it off. A lot of times I see this happen when someone's hit a tight ball, and the opponent, instead of keeping their technique and hitting through the ball, they actually pull their arm away too early, because they don't want to hit the wall with their racket, and you end up dragging the ball towards you and giving away a stroke. That's a nice straight drop there from Nathan. One of his massive strengths is his straight attacks. He gets into quite a nice set position and really cuts down on the ball. This leaves the ball so short. He's able to use his touch and his cut to leave the ball really short, which puts a lot of pressure on his opponents. Like, I really felt that he was dragging me short, and I had to get in low, deep lunge and lift out. The only thing I would say about Nathan is about his set position is that if you can drag him into those deeper lunges so that he can't get in such a set position, that's when you can take advantage. But it's really hard to get him into that place when he's so accurate, because he's putting me under so much pressure that it's then hard for me to put him under pressure again. So it's more for someone of my level playing against Nath, I'm thinking more about counter-attacking. Obviously I'm trying to set up a good length, and then take the ball in, but I've just got to be on it with my movement and attack his attacks. There I've actually taken in my own attack. He's forced a loose cross court, and I've put the ball in straight and short. So that was quite nice from me. Let's see how I get on here. So missed my length, he's volleyed, got the ball through, which was nice, and now I've been able to volley. I've countered there, it's a bit loose, and he's on my back for a stroke. That's another thing you notice with the top guys. If you're going in for a counter drop and it's loose, they're on you straight away, on your back, stroke. So you have to be so good at those counters. That's something I'm working on a lot at the moment. You've got to run it in so tight and short, and make sure that you get out the way to give them a line. Otherwise, anything half loose, they're going to be on you for a stroke. That's just the way the game is. I mean, yeah. Here we're both trying to push up, volley, a few exchanges. That's the movement there that I'm trying to get Nathan to do. Now he's actually showed the front left and hit the back right there, and that's why it looked like I was sort of a bit slow with my movement, but it's because he's made my centre of gravity lean forwards, thinking he's going to go drop, and then I have to change and go back. It's those movements that take the most energy out of your body, and that's where he's going to get more gains later on in the match, when I'm slowing down and the lactic acid is building up in my legs. There he's got a bit lucky, hit the join between the side wall and the back wall, and the ball's sprayed out a little bit. You always love to get those in a match. Always nice getting an easy point. But yeah, we're coming towards the end of the game now. So because it's the first game, I'm still reasonably fresh. But it's been a decent duration, and I've had to push hard to stay in a lot of rallies because of his accuracy. So I will be feeling it a little bit, but I'm still able to push a bit. That was a nice finish there. As you can see there, I just waited a half a second longer to let the ball come back even further, so that he has to stay further back in the court, and then I can put the ball in for the easy winner. If I play that earlier, he can actually start moving forwards earlier as well, if that makes sense, and then he could potentially cover that. Whereas if I just let that come back and then play it in, that's where I can hit an easier winner. So yeah, Nathan took that game 11-8, and he actually went on to take the next game as well, in quite quickly. I think it was 11-4 even, because I'd worked so hard in that first and I hadn't really recovered for the second. The third game was a lot more competitive, but he still beat me as well, and this is one of the final points from that third game. Now, I can tell that my movement's got a little bit slower here. Now, I don't know if you guys can, but I was quick onto that ball, but I was slow off of the ball with that one in the front, if you can tell that. So this is where those movements that I've made throughout the match is coming back to help Nath. And I'm a little bit slower. Like you can see, I'm leaning over there, my back's crouching down, and I'm just hanging on, trying to stay in the rally. But yeah, I'm pushing. See, I'm slowing down now, properly slowing down. Oh, good length from Nathan there. And yeah, that was another great session with Nath. Obviously, lost 3-0, but I put a good account of myself up there. I was in it in the first. I was actually 7-5 up, something like that. So some positives to take from that. It's just Nathan is such a skillful player that he made me work so hard, and as you can see there, I'm absolutely knackered. But anyway, you're going to see my thoughts straight after now. I had a little chat with my mum about it.
Alright then guys, so just finished my practice match with Nathan Lake. Yeah, initial thoughts are, compared to George yesterday, like completely different players, yet they're about the same ranking. So it's just interesting how different styles of player can make it to the same level. George is that really explosive player, gets on the ball early, hits hard, whereas Nathan's more of a technical player. I going the wrong way now, actually.
Doesn't matter, you can go this way as well.
Anyway, Nathan's more like touch. He used height very well to put me under pressure. He gets in very set positions to take the ball in, which works well when I've hit a loose ball. But I found that I could, when I got him twisting and turning, I could put him under a bit of pressure as well, put his movement under pressure, because his skills are his strong point. But yeah, lots to learn from that. I mean, if you could put George's movement with Nathan's skill, you'd have an unbelievable player. But not everyone has the ability to have it all, but you've just got to work on your weaknesses and try and have everything. But yeah, I don't know, what were your... I'm here with my mum in the car. What are your
I
thoughts?
do think that when you're playing those sort of top players, you up your game.
Yeah.
Your shot selection was really brilliant. Although, yeah, you made a few errors just hitting the tin, top of the tin, but they were the right shots.
Yeah.
Had they have gone in, they would have been absolutely brilliant. So I think to put yourself under that sort of pressure, you were able to get all the balls back, but it's just then the pressure of finishing off. But you've certainly got
it's having the confidence to play the right shot.
Well, I think you've
and
got
then
that.
Actually execute it.
I think you've got the confidence. It's just then the accuracy. Those players are obviously Nathan's 35 in the world. Whatever they are already.
It's tough.
Accurate. Excellent, aren't they? So
yeah, I feel like I got really stuck in the first game when I was fresh and I could get everything back, but as the time goes on and I'm slightly slower onto each ball, and then he's put me under a bit more pressure. He was saying about my holds, like my hold was quite effective at the start, and then it broke down as I got under more pressure and didn't have enough time to use that hold.
He's got the experience of reading the game probably well as well, and so he's able to adapt.
Yeah, so then when I'm not holding the ball, he's on it straight away. His accuracy goes up and puts me under even more pressure, and that's when it compounds, and you just, it goes downhill from there. But
it was good that first game, he didn't know how you were going to play, and you did put him under pressure, and actually could have taken, that first game.
I was up in that first, so a lot of positives to take from that. So hopefully you found that interesting. Tomorrow I'm heading down to St George's Hill to hit with my third 30 in the world level player. I'm not going to reveal who that is yet. So I'll see you tomorrow down in Surrey.
Good luck.
Thanks. Good morning everyone from the St George's Hill Lawn Tennis Club down in Surrey. I left Cheltenham at 6:30 this morning to get down here because I'm having a feeding session this morning with one of my coaches, Miles Jenkins, and then in the afternoon I'm going to be training with Charlie Lee, so join me for that one later this afternoon. Alright, so here we go then. This is my third hit of this 3-day video that I'm doing. So this is Charlie Lee. He's probably a little bit less known than the other two by some of you, but he's 26, he's English, and he reached highest ranking of 43 in 2023, but he's been a bit riddled with a couple of injuries, in and out. I mean, he beat Mohamed El Shabaghi around a year ago, maybe slightly less, so he's a top quality player. He's playing around that 30-40 sort of level. I thought I'd just keep some of the knock-up in actually, because, I don't know, I thought it'd be interesting. Some of you probably not always sure what to do when you're having the 2-minute knock-up before a match. So I always start at the front of the court with some volleys like you've seen me doing, just to get my hands moving quickly, get my eye in, and then I'll go straight from the volleys to the back of the court and just hit some drives, and then hit cross court back to my opponent. I like to do one long drop from the back at least, and then also one boast from the back. So there you go. Then start with the long drop, take it in cross court, try to lift there. Don't just smack all your cross courts, practice your lobs, because otherwise the first lob you do, you're going to just sky it out or massively underhit it. So I'm probably going to hit a boast at some point. There we go, there it is. That's the second thing I go for. I make sure I hit at least one drop and one boast from the back, just to make sure I'm taking the ball in. I'll then move further up the court, do some volleys, volley drops, some normal drops as well, and then some hard or some lifts cross court as well. And that's it. Start with volleys, then go on to drives, and then drops. But anyway, we're getting into the match now. Straight before, I like to just get moving, some footwork drills, and just make sure I'm feeling explosive and ready. So we're just playing a few games here in this session, and I'm going to show you the first game because we played for over an hour. A bit of a poor start from me there. I had a chance, and I've just sort of not really kept a solid technique, and I've just flopped over the ball. And that's concentration more than anything. Like, you think, oh, it's the first rally, I'll just get into things, but actually you have to be on it right from the start, and if there's a chance, take it in with a good technique. But anyway, we're just getting a bit of a feel for each other's length at the moment. Charlie's squeezed me on the sidewall. Charlie's lines and lengths was actually very good and putting me under a lot of pressure. He's also quite deceptive. He shows short and long quite well. So I'll just keep an eye out for that here. Like, he's always making me push up the court, thinking he's going to hit a straight drop, and then he'll push it deep. But anyway, this second rally is probably a bit more typical of
of what you'd see in the first rally, or at least the first few rallies of a match. Both players are fresh, so that we can cover the front of the court, and yeah, a bit longer rallies. Here we're trading down the forehand, but a couple of those lengths were a bit too short. Here, mid-court, I'm going to be under pressure straight away. I've tried to lift there, but I haven't lifted high enough. Same again. When you're under pressure, you have to lift higher. I've done 3 lifts there in a row, and good players are just going to volley that and put you under even more pressure. So yeah, I've created an opening there and taken a nice straight drop in, but because we're both fresh, he's able to get it back, and the rally continues. That was too slow, so I've just popped that drop in there on the forehand. I needed to use my body a bit more, crouch down, and really use my racket head to snap through the ball and get some good racket head speed. Got away with it, ended up winning the point, but yeah, I should have put that in just a little bit quicker. A bit more instinctive, my short game needs to become. Just, it's there, bang, put it in, don't wait around like that. That was a bit better. I've got him stretching, got him lifting. That's what you want. You want people lunging deep into the front corners. That's what's going to take the most out of them. So if you can get a few of those in at the start of the match at least, then you might get some rewards later on. That was a quick attack from me. That was better. I just sort of hit through the ball a bit quicker without thinking too much. Got my bottom edge of the racket through the ball, and some nice spin and cut on the ball, which allowed me to chop it into the nick. This is good from me. Some nice lines, hit it tight. Got him lifting again, which is good. That was slightly too short, that ball, but at least it was tight enough. And I've had a good start here. I'm about 3-1 up, I think. And this is the thing, when I'm playing better players, right at the start of the match, I'm fresh, and I always start well. I catch them a little bit off guard, maybe sometimes. I can get a lot of balls back, but over time, they work their way into the match when I'm making deeper movements and getting a bit slower, and that's when they start applying their pressure. But anyway, that's just a combination of a few things that I need to work out. I need to be better at sustaining that pace for longer, but also better technically to deal with the shots that they're throwing at me. That last rally was just a poor error from him. You don't get many of those with guys at this level, so you take it when they come. But anyway, let's have a look what's going on here. See, lifting out of the front actually is something I really need to keep working on. Because if you don't lift properly, a lift is supposed to relieve pressure, and if you underhit it, you're just going to be under more pressure again. So it's crucial that you get under the ball. If you're lifting cross court, you don't have to worry about getting it really close to the sidewall. As long as you just get under the ball and hit it high and to the back, that gives you enough time to reset, get back towards the tee, and then and try and play reset the rally there. But anyway, just some trading down the backhand here. Charlie is he's got quite a nice little compact snappy swing, so it looks like he can go short or long from anywhere. There he's forced the kill in, and I haven't reacted to it that well, and he's got on me for a stroke there. That happens a lot at the top of the game. If you down that backhand side, things can get a bit congested, and if you're not accurate, you're going to give away strokes. But yeah, nice kill there. The thing is with Charlie is he's got a nice early racket prep. His swing isn't very big, so it looks like he can go short and long whenever he wants, and that's where I'm getting caught out with some of the kills, because I think he's going short or long, and then suddenly he hits a kill like in the middle. So it's having those different options from the same swing which is crucial, and that's where you can hurt your opponents. Here Charlie's getting working into the match a little bit better now, and I'm playing a bit more reactively. See, I've forced that boast in, wasn't quite good enough, and he got on it quickly. His line and lengths were very good. He's a very good straight line hitter, kind of like James Willstrop actually, just lots of channel games being done there, lots of drives practice in his solos, and he's just able to cling that ball, and that coupled with showing short and long makes him very effective in straight lines. See, he was able to just soften up, hit that drop from the back, and take me in on the straight. Here I've lost my length a little bit. It's got a bit scrappy. The pace has gone up. Thankfully, I've gone for a winner there, and actually it's come off. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of a one-off winner, which is good. But Charlie's putting more pressure on me currently, and that's where you can sort of get quick points like that when I'm straggling a bit, not quite on it as quickly. You lose focus for 1 second here, and you lose the point against good players. So it's just having that reset each rally, like switch off, and then as soon as you go to serve, you got to switch on again. Here I had a chance to shut him out and hit the deep line, but I hit it mid-court, and a missed opportunity there from me. And yeah, just racket errors like that. Simple lift, cross court, and I've just clipped the out of court line. I'm doing some more physical work at the moment, which will hopefully enable me to not make these simple racket errors under pressure. Because in my solos, I can nail shots like this and in practice, but once you have that match situation where there's a bit of fatigue and like second session of the day, you know, I've already trained this morning, so it's just when you are a bit tired, being able to not have your technique break down and still hit good shots is something I'm working on currently. Yeah, just a bit too reactive here. I'm sort of not guessing, but just hedging my bets. Because I've hit a loose ball, you have to sort of guess where the ball's going to go, especially out the front of the court. But yeah, some more trading down the backhand. Charlie likes just to pop that one down there, like a medium pace sort of drive. That's his go-to on the backhand. So that's where I'm then getting caught out with a couple of kills and drops when he changes that pace. The best players are constantly changing their paces up and down the wall, pairing softer shots with some harder ones, low and high, and that's what keeps your opponent guessing the whole time. You have to keep having these little changes. There, he's accelerated through the ball, and he's played a bit quicker. There, he probably should have lifted out the front, and I've read it well and volleyed it back past him. So yeah, I've done well to slow the pace down there, paired it with a harder shot. So this is a nice little passage for me here. I'm controlling Charlie a little bit. Let's see if I can take advantage of that. He's hit a tight ball, put me in, I'm having to lift. Pressure's been relieved. I've overhit my cross court there, and he's now applying the pressure to me. So this is what happens at this level. Some people, you'll get under pressure and then you lift out and the pressure switches. But yeah, it's just being able to deal with that. He's finally squeezed a tight ball. He's trying to serve quickly here. He can tell that maybe the pace and the work he's putting into me is getting to me a little bit, and he's wanting to sort of push the pace between rallies, which is standard. Clever stuff from him. But yeah, I've responded. Tried to respond by pushing up the court, but he's just squeezed me again on another tight ball. So yeah, I think I remember being sort of 8-6 up, but he's clawed his way back as I've dropped off slightly. But I'm trying sort of one last push here to hold on to this game, because he's making his way back to as 8 all, I think. But these are tough movements for me. And yeah, let's see what happens here. Yeah, he's sort of cleverly keeping me on the end of this rally here. He's had a few chances to sort of finish it off and put it away, But he's actually just keeping me going slightly because he knows this will help him later on in the game, in the match. Eventually just forcing the winner eventually. But yeah, I thought that rally was over, but carrying on. Yeah, this is a bit of a feeding session now. Eventually he's going to get the winner. But yeah, when you are feeling tired, you can look to slow the pace down, use height, but you have to really focus on every shot and make sure you're getting your length through, because otherwise, if you're not hitting your lengths, you're going to get cut off mid-court. And the cycle just repeats itself and you end up getting even more tired. But anyway, this is looking like it could be game ball here in the first. I think he's 10-9 up here, something like that, 10-8, 10-9, and he's just squeezed me. And that's why I'm frustrated there, because I had a lead and I wasn't able to hold on to it. Anyway, I've skipped now to match ball. I went on to lose the second as well, a little bit quicker than I would have liked. I was still feeling the effects of the first game. But the fact that I had that lead is positive, and I know with a few things to work on, I can look to hold on to those leads and hopefully go up a few levels and be able to play at Charlie's level one day. But here I'm just absolutely knackered now. Gave it a good fight in the third. I think I lost 11-7, 11-8, something like that. But yeah, another brilliant practice match. Unfortunately going down in 3, but lots to learn there from Charlie.
Well guys, what a good 3 days I've just had. Finished off with some match play there with Charlie Lee. Yeah, awesome stuff. I mean, he's another super skillful player. But I mean, one of the main takeaways I'd say from his match would be his holds and his use of deception. Now, I've hit with George Parker. I've seen the speed and the physicality needed to be at that level. I've hit with Nathan. I've seen the touch and the accuracy needed at that level. And then I've hit with Charlie, and I can see the deception that you need at that level. So 3 major things that they all have as a super strength, but they can all do those things anyway to some extent. And the best guys can do all 3 of those very well. So yeah, I've learnt a lot about my own game as well. I mean, I've had, I think it's 8 or 9 games over the 3 days, and lost all of them. But I mean, I've been up in a few of them, and it's taught me a lot. I can't expect to win every time I enter the court, especially when I'm playing against guys of this level. So this is what I need to take my game up a notch and keep improving. Hitting with these guys is the way forward, I think. So yeah, hopefully in the analysis I've been able to show you why these guys are so good, and I've hopefully demonstrated that I've got the potential to make it to that level one day. So yeah, doing this analysis stuff is actually helping me analyse my own game as well. So I'm hoping you guys enjoy it because it's beneficial for me as well. So anyway, yeah, that was my 3 days hitting with 30 in the world level players. I'm now ready to go to France, where I'm going to be competing in a Challenger Tour 3K. So yeah, hopefully those hits have set me up nicely, and yeah, I'll see you in France.